Welcome everyone, welcome to your Tube 8 Hertz, 7.8 Hertz generator, the most pure human resonance tool ever invented is what this actually is. So it's a real great opportunity that you purchase this. We now are offering these in a unique and different way. The new models are as we show it here. There's nothing that is glued on these. And we found that doing this, while is attractive and nice, it limits the energy. We want to be able to, with our new disk systems, we want to be able to transfer and update any energies. So you will be getting 3 different disks with this. Not what I'm showing here. You'll be getting special disks that do specific purposes, and you will be able to purchase other ones that you just can place underneath the unit for any energies you want. It's exciting with your particular picture there as well. So it is very exciting that this new comes out. But when you get this unit, you're going to get these units. And let me pull this tube out of here, because you're going to get this unit, and the actual tube will look like this with 3 or 4 of these tubes. You will also be getting a particular main electrical plug, and you will be getting a connection plug as well. Now, there's 2 different units. This is basically the main power supply. This is the way it's made for whatever reason or not, but this is very finely made. The frequencies that are created through the actual tube. And remember, tubes give you pure resonant energy you can't get anywhere else. So anytime you buy some sort of 7.8 Hertz device, and it's not tubes, it's giving you a very crude energy. This is a very refined energy. So let's put this together. Now, when this comes, the top here will look like this. That's right. And this is a little annoying and also a little difficult to remove. Initially, I was told by someone that it wouldn't come apart. There's nothing to peel here. So there is something to peel here, and it doesn't peel easily. So what you do when it comes, this will look like this. Now, how do you peel this off? Now, you can try and peel it off with your fingernail, etc. I've tried this, and with a little work, you can do that working from the hole down. I should have filmed that. But what you really want to do is this top will come off here by unscrewing the feet. So you unscrew the feet very easily. You can do this by hand. You don't really need any tools. They have 2 different things on it. You get the main kind of feet-looking things, and then you have a little bolt here. And then you remove these. Now, these are a little bit tricky. So when you do this, follow my instructions carefully. It's not difficult, but you don't want to mess everything up. So once you've unscrewed by hand, like I'm doing, first the feet bolts, then you're going to take these nuts off, which again, it can all be done by hand. You don't need it, but you can get yourself a little wrench that fits on this if you prefer. I like using my fingers. I'm stupid. So you can get little tools and use this. Now what happens here is this is a long bolt. See that? Make sure I'm getting that on the camera. It's a long bolt. Now you want to leave it flat. Let me move this out of the way. You want to leave it flat on the table like this, and then pull the bolts out. Keep this together. Okay? These are multi-layers. And it doesn't really matter if there's some problem there, but why make it a big mess? Just keep it all together and remove the top. Now, this is what the top will look like. It will have this paper on it. Now, this is supposed to be a protective paper for shipping. Okay? Why they do that, I'm not really sure. They don't remove it from anything because it's a little bit of work. But you're going to get something that looks like, as a matter of fact, this is what it looks like. You could actually put it upside down. So this is when it comes to you, what it's going to look like. Now, what you've got to do is peel this paper off. Now, you don't have to peel it off, but I think this looks ugly. It has no intrinsic help or non-help for the actual unit. It means nothing. That the frequencies come out of the tube and the unit. But you can try and peel this off. See how I'm doing it here with my finger now? I had one person, it doesn't peel off, Dr. Thor. Are you driving me insane? You can see that it peels off. So I will actually, you can see how it peels off here. Again, I forgot to show the camera that. And you go through the little things. Now, the manufacturer told me, soak it in water, it'll come off easier. So you can do that if you want. But basically, you take your fingertips and you just keep peeling this off, and it will come off, even though it can be difficult to start. But if you take it apart like I just showed you, it's easy. I tried to peel this while it was on the machine, and I did get most of it off, but you can see I scratched it a little there. The best thing to do is take it off. And a scratch is not going to hurt anything. It just depends how finicky you are. So you can see how this peels off. Now what you've got is a really beautiful looking tool. And you can peel off one side like I had it, or both. Again, it's personal preference. It has nothing to do with the functioning of the unit, but I think aesthetics are important. So here's what it looks like when you take, started like this and looks like this. Now both sides have this. Here's the other side that I peeled off, got a little scratch. So what I'm going to do is turn it over where there ain't no scratchy, because I'm kind of finicky. Then you put it back on there, just like that. You've already got the stack here. And as I said, if you drop this and it comes apart, well, it's no big thing. You just have to stack them back in there. But why do that? This is a very well-made unit. And it is expensive, as you know, and most of that cost is the manufacturing cost. So what you've got to do there is you then take your, and remember, these are one long bolt. It's very easy when it's stacked like this. All you have to do is put it into the hole. As you can see there. Then down again. You do this on all four sides. And it's real easy. It don't take brain surgery. I don't think you have to call an engineer like some I know, and they couldn't even fix their cars. I don't think they're going to be able to do this. It's too high-techy for most engineers. So now it's all done and in there. And what I just do is just spin it over, keep it on a flat table like this. And of course, what goes on first is the little nuts. You may know a little nut. Maybe you knew an engineer. Okay. And these just screw right on there. Super easy. And I just put them hand tight. If you want to use a tool, fine, but don't overly torque anything. It is plastic. You could crack it. Again, that's not going to hurt it in any way in terms of its functioning. But, you know, aesthetics are important. When you look at something, you should say, gee, that's beautiful looking, and it works beautiful. It's all part of the psychological imprint that is important, and I'm a firm believer in that. If something looks like a box of crap, you're not going to give it the credit that is. Now you get these kind of little, I don't know, I call them feet. These are actually little bolts, or not bolts. These are actually nuts themselves. And these serve as little feet for this particular device. I'm not sure why they use two things like this, but they do. The actual frequencies and so forth are produced here, but the power supply to power everything is there. So now you've got what is a typical socket for a tube, or as they call it in Britainland, a valve, like a valve on a tap. So, and you have 4 of these, 3 to 4 of these, I'm not sure. And you'll see how these have a particular opening here. Let me get my focus in correctly here. On this side, you have an opening. The rest of it are all spaced. You look for the, see where the opening is there? Camera's not focusing. But you'll see how there's a line of these and then there's kind of a space. There's the same thing here. So obviously, the tube space goes in here. So you line up the little teeth, little prongs, whatever you want to call them, and then you carefully push down. You'll feel it go in and stop. Now, don't overdo it and watch you get oil on these kind of things. It goes down. Don't overly push it. It obviously fits in. If it doesn't fit in or the prongs get bent or something, pull it out, straighten the prongs, and then push it back in. That is done. Now it's ready to go. Here's your power supply, which has an on and off button right here. Beautiful metal case. Really a fine piece of equipment. Like I always supply all of the products that I have. I try and find the best out there. I'm not concerned about price. I'm concerned about quality and long lasting. So again, you get your typical plug here. AC in, DC out. Okay, well, this is AC in. This is what the AC looks like. And you can see how it's two different fixtures. This looks good. It looks like that, Dr. Thor. That looks like that fits in there. You are correct, dumb guy. So it goes right in here, presses right in. I'm sure everybody has seen stuff like this. This then goes to your particular plug. So you plug that into the wall. This is a Euro. Depending on where you're at, you should get a particular fitting for this. Sometimes we include it, sometimes we don't. But these are rated. You'll see on the back here. Me focus ain't working too good. But it says 230 on there. Okay? So that means this particular unit is rated for that. But units are rated for wherever you're at. So this is also rated for 110 to 220. And you would put a particular fitting on this to fit if you are not living in Europe or in the US. So you should be getting the right fitting anyway from the manufacturer. If not, you can contact me, and of course, you can get a fitting to put on there. So you have that, and what else is left? Well, we have one more wire here. Now, this is the wire that connects the power supply into the actual amp itself. And you have your typical, now these are typical DC. So this converts the power into DC. So it takes 230, makes it into DC, direct current. This is alternating current. Good to learn these things, Dr. Thor. And then you take from there, and there's another one over here. So you've got to connect these two to work it. The power to power the tube amp has to be connected like that. And you can see how beautiful it is. And we're going to turn it on. And how do you know if this is working or not? Well, you know, tubes are very easy to know if they're working or not. And we recommend you change this tube, and you have 4 of them. I leave mine on 24 hours. I'm not sure how long they'll last. I've only had mine about 8 or 9 months on, usually 24 hours. But we recommend you change tubes about every 2 years. They do last a long time. But as tubes run, they do wear a bit. So the frequencies after a year or 2 on a tube can be actually start to differentiate, and you lose the perfect frequency. So every 2 years or so, you can end. You've got 4 tubes, so that would be, what, 8 years? And you can have these tested in certain places. You can get replacement tubes. Contact us, and we'll let you know where to get that. Now, what do you do? Well, it has the on switch. Now, the power switch you turn on, you'll see the blue button comes on. When the blue light comes on, that means it's working. So this sometimes may be a different color. It could be red or whatever. I don't know. I've heard that from some people. But this means it's on. Your power supply is on. Okay? And when you turn it off, the light goes off. We all get that? On. Off. Okay, now, one of the things you can tell is that the way you know that this tube is working is basically, because sometimes it's hard to see the light in there, but you can see the light there. Can you see that in the video? Let me go over here, yeah, you can see that. I can turn this light down here, see it a little better. Yeah, you can see that in there. That little dot. You got to remember, these things don't come on like it's a flame. It's a small little tube that's creating the resonance to do that, and it lights up to that extent. Now, it gets a little brighter over time, and one thing that younger people don't understand about tubes is that you generally, if you wanted to use a tube, like on TVs, which I had as a youngster, you would, if you wanted to watch TV, you went and turn the TV on, and then you would go get a drink or whatever you want to do, read War and Peace, and then you come back when the tubes were hot and the TV, you would see the picture because the tubes have to heat up. Now, when the tube is working right, it will be warm to the touch, not hot, warm. It's not supposed to be boiling in any way whatsoever. If the tube doesn't work for some reason or not, remove it, turn off your power, remove it, and then put it back in, because occasionally the tubes are not seated properly and there's a problem. Occasionally, the tube doesn't work. You've got 4 of them, so just go ahead and try another one if you feel that is incorrect. So you turn this on, and of course, it will slowly, and you will feel it warm here. As long as the tube is warm, the unit is working. Because this light, I don't know if it means anything or not. Obviously, the power switch does. But if this is not working, this will not show the little light inside. There's you can see a tiny bit of light. That usually doesn't get any brighter, but you will feel it warm as well. So that's when you know it is working and it's actually fine. And then you just leave it there. There's a few things you can do. One of the things you can do is, of course, right off the bat, you can put a Polaroid photograph on your unit and everything that goes with that. So you put a Polaroid right here, and basically this unit covers a room approximately 15 by 15 feet. So generally it's good for your average room. And it's not going to extend all over your house to give you power. So if you really want, I have one in my living room and I have one in my bedroom. And because you can't put one in your living room and expect to cover your whole house, it doesn't work like that. So it's like everything, you know, if you want pure energy, you want a manifesting good energies, this is the life force. Everything on this planet survives because it's in this range of frequency. When astronauts come back from their space trips, because they're outside of the Earth resonance, the energy of the Earth, which is electromagnetic in nature, at least this part of it, the bottom line is that all of that is the reality of what's going on. So you have to fully understand that. So it puts you back in that because that's where you live in. That creates a vortex for you to do so many things with. So it's very recommended that you have this in your house. Have a couple, 2, 3 of these. And we're trying to with our new system. And the one thing nice about our new system is we can cut out some middlemen and we can bring you the prices for these. So you're going to get 2 minimum packages. The one package that'll come, which you have to put together, as I showed you, will look like this. And that will come in one package from China. You will then get another package with 3 different discs. Now, it's very important that you always put the activator disc under first. This will, before using it, actually, you put this under the activator disc, and it'll say activator disc on it with particular code frequency numbers on there, I should say special code numbers. That is left under the unit on for 24 hours before use. This transmutes these electronics, both of these, will transmute that into using the subtle energies that we are going to use. Very, very important. This is exclusive to Radionic Tech, and the disc will be specifically for this tool, and each tool will have its own transmutation disc. This takes the energy inside of the unit and transfers the actual electronic energies that are in there. It changes it so that it can handle these subtle energies, pick them up, and transfer them better. Very, very important and very exclusive. So you basically do that for 24 hours. And what we recommend you doing is here's the transmutation disc, and it will do that. You put that on the bottom. You then put this on the top, and you leave it there for 24 hours. I kind of like stacking mine anyway. I'm not sure how secure that is. You stack it like this, leave it for 24 hours, and that will change all the electronics, the way it functions at a subatomic and atomic level to handle the kind of energies that we'll be putting under it, meaning your other discs. Now, these discs can be gotten for just about everything. You can find one for protection. You can find one for clearing. And you will have that on there. And then these will just simply, you always leave the transmutation disc under there. If you don't have a transmutation disc, the unit doesn't work right. And they are specific to everything we make. There's a transmutation disc for everything. Radionic machines, pendulums, etc. So there's a unique one for everything. And those will be linked on there. So what you do once your 24 hours is up is that you actually then put it. So if you wanted a protection and clearing energy, because again, the other disc you leave underneath there, and that's just to keep the unit working at the subatomic level and taking the toxic electromagnetic functioning that may be in there, the crudeness of the electromagnetic spectrum and components in general, which aren't good for you, and transmute it so that the energy is turned into a very fine, high-level energy. Very, very important and very exclusive to Radionic Tech, and all of our tools will be like that. The other thing is that you can leave it side by side or leave it like this. So if it was protection, you then use a Polaroid. Now, you should be using our Polaroid camera with our disc that goes under it, and we will be coming out with this new model soon, which is reasonable. If you don't do that, you're hurting the process. That's all part of the investment and doing things right. People hesitate to do this because they're dumb, and you don't get good results. Don't call me. Okay, so we put this on there, and you can put up to 4 photographs on there. Remember, they're going to get the same energy. Now, this is a protection clearing energy. We're going to have ones for uncrossing. We're going to have one for health. We're going to have one for the chakras. We're going to have one for the third eye. All of these are coming, people, and this will amplify it. Now, what this energy does is create a vortex to bring in positive energies. So if you're working in a negative environment with negative people, you got negative energies, geopathic, otherwise, your environment is going to be very difficult to actually produce anything. So what's really going to happen there is you tend to get mediocre effects. So when you put something like this there, and then, of course, you work with, radionic machines, and you have other amplifiers, etc. Here's our classic radionic box. You get excellent results right off the bat. You know, the reason why so many things tend to fail is that people are living in a toxic sewer. Nothing is cleared. Your environment is bad. And, of course, I understand that. How are you supposed to clear out things? Well, we're going to show you how to do it, but this is what this is all about. So with this going, you're having a constant opening to bring in positive, potent energies. And it's really exciting that this type of technology works. But there's nothing like, and I've been saying this for years, and everybody who knows anything about electronics except for the boobs that make so-called radionic equipment with solid state and orgonite poison and all the other things people do, or a box that looks like a little computer, a box of garbage. So when you have all these things, it doesn't work well. And people want to tell you it does with no proof of any of it. But it's just not true. And even if it does work to some degree, well, why don't you use the good stuff? It's semi-pure. No, it's semi-organic. We only used half the chemicals on it. Well, that's not what I want. I want the best of the best. And if you're not using the best of the best, well, that's your problem, isn't it? And that's why you don't get results or all the other crap that you're talking about. So the whole idea is that if you use toxic crap from other people, you're going to get toxic crap results. And that includes all machines. So be very careful. And if you have anything orgone-based, throw it out ASAP. It's toxic crap. And it's going to do nothing for you. And we all make bad investments. We buy stuff that breaks, whatever it may be. Write it off to experience and be thankful that you were warned and gotten rid of it. Plain and simple. But save a few bucks and you'll be talking from a box in the ground because you will be dead. So let's all keep that in mind. Use Radionic Tech technology. You'll live long and prosper. Who said that? So the whole idea is that we have to fully understand that. So that's the process. As I said, you can use up to 4 photographs here. Your pets, your relatives, your friends, anybody you want to, but it should be, if all possible, particularly for yourself and your family, make sure they're polarized. Now, sometimes it's difficult to get this for friends and family. Maybe they live thousands of miles away. Well, you use what you can. But oftentimes, relatives can get cameras, or you could send them a camera. It just depends. Your camera, have them take the picture and have them send you back the picture. So you think that this is a lot of trouble, but it may pay off dramatically. But a lot of times people can at least get a Polaroid. It's better to use the camera that we have, but any Polaroid will help the situation at least 80%. We give you another 20%, actually plus, with the energy there that really makes it effective. But basically, what you do in a situation like this is that you just place it right here. You place the other ones there. You can place your pets there. Anyone you want to send good energy to, of course, including yourself. So the unit's going to send that energy throughout your house and to whoever in the distance of it. It will broadcast it through the photographs that you've put on there. And you have a wonderful little transmitter that also. And again, you can modify what's in your. Not only does this have a manifesting energy, but if you use the particular plates, and our plates are very special. They generally have numbers on them. That's not these. These are just for examples here. They'll have a number on it, very similar to our, where's our number plates? They will have a number on there. Here's one of our transmitting plates. They'll have a number on there like here, which is very specific to the purpose. And of course, the original disc will have a number like this just for this, and each one is for a particular unit. But it'll have a number on it. It'll have a particular pattern, which amplifies it. This is a broadcasting disc. But on the other side, we have not put digital information in here per se. It is digital sound information, which creates a very particular sound wave. That activates whatever's on the front. So that's our whole new disc system with the very special numbers. There could be several numbers. There's going to be a lot of numbers on all these units as time goes on. These are the cosmic codes that you need. We're only working with vibrational energies from this point on. Physical stuff doesn't make any sense. So trying to broadcast anything physical, doing any use of physical, that's why we use energy in these types of photographs. They're not physical, they're energetic when you use a Polaroid. This is all very, very important to the end. So if you're going to get the really strong results, and quite frankly, people, our new system here is all inspiring. It kicks ass when you get into using these kind of coded numbers with all sorts of hidden or empowerment visual, what they're called sigils here, images. Images produce power. And then to empower both the radionic codes and the sigils, we have a special type of actual energy that is put into this particular unit to trigger everything that's happening on the other side. Awesome, awesome. System, and these are how all the new units are made. All of our units will be like this. We're going to be doing that with our actual amplifiers, etc. They'll all have activator discs underneath them, and however they're used. Of course, our amplifiers need to have transmitter discs, etc., and you'll learn about that when those particular tools are used. So that's how this is set up. It's very easy. And when you get your unit, of course, you have to make sure that you are, you take this off to make it look pretty like this. If you want to leave the other thing on there, you can. It doesn't interfere. It's just aesthetically ugly. The whole idea is the symbols we used to put on here, the tachyons, etc., they're all in the discs now. So we can modify those, give you different energies, and you can literally start stacking up discs like this, where you can start putting numerous discs underneath there that have different purposes, and we'll talk about which ones are best for what. But this means you don't have energies that are stuck on here that may in the future prove to not be the greatest, or we'll be able to update that. But why should we keep specific and crude energy? Now, we want to use the high-level energies. Those are not putting a tachyon bead there that serves as an antenna. We build that into the cosmic codes that we draw in by the vibrations from that. And this is what works best for neutrinos, for tachyons, for all that stuff. We draw them in for that particular purpose. And now we can do that using our special empowered disk technology, which is much more powerful. Those actual radionic rate cosmic codes of many types and shades, activated with actual super sigils, which are then both activated by a particular type of sound energy that has been implanted in the other side of the disc, which basically, of course, these are CD discs. They're made beautifully, and they are masterful little tools. And this is a great way to use something that is, you could store thousands of these in a small space. And of course, they look great, they're made great, they're easy to, low cost to make and send out to the customers. So hopefully that is very complete and understanding to you. It is, should be extremely clear how everything works. These models have stayed the same. If there's any great model changes or you have other problems, we will let you know. But that's the new system. That's how it works. That's how you connect it. And that's why we have these great training videos. So it should be 100% clear. But of course, I'm always available for help. Have questions? Just email. Until next time.